Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Do you remember December 7th, 1941?
Yes, I do.
What do you remember about it?
Well, let's see, where was I working when I think I was working in a bakery at the time.
You got a letter in 1942 saying greetings.
Yes, I did.
So what was the reaction of your dad at that time?
I don't know. He just seemed to take it for granted.
Yeah.
It was in September. I remember September 42. They asked me if I had any objections to going in the Air Corps, and I said, oh, gee, no. You know, I thought that was great. But it wasn't the Air Corps. It was the Airborne.
Yeah.
That was 1943 when I went overseas.
Did you know where you were going when they...
No, well, we knew we were going to England, but on the way over, we had boat troubles, and then we ended up in Newfoundland. Had to wait for another boat. At first, when we went over, we were in Brock Barracks in Reading, England, and did all our training from there. And just before combat, they shipped us to Leicester, England, to the 82nd Airborne.
That's then you were assigned to the 82nd?
All right.
Were you there staging for D-Day at that time?
I was at D-Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about what you knew beforehand. Did you get a sense that... what did they tell you?
Well, they didn't really... We knew what our assignment was. We were going to go by ship. We didn't go by glider. Escort... a company of small tanks to connect with our troops that landed during the night. It was Utah Beach.
Utah Beach?
Yeah. I know we were on a landing craft, but when we hit the beach, I don't really remember what was going on. All I can remember is heading for the beach, and there was a cliff there, and I got up against the cliff where they couldn't shoot at me. Right. We landed, I think we were the third echelon that landed at Utah Beach, and met up with this company of tanks when they came over, and escorted them to our CP wherever they...
You're on the beach and there's certainly casualties.
Oh yeah, they were all over. Casualties were all over. That's the thing that got me the most, boy. But I don't think we lost one man on the beach, so... Of my company at all. That night, I remember that night.
What was that like?
Well, they sent us out on to find out where the troops were. And I swear, to this day, we talked to a guy in this little village, and I swear to this day that he was a German.
Might have been.
Yeah, and he led us right into an ambush. And well, that's where I think they gave me one of those medals, because we got in the ambush, we lost all our officers. So I reorganized the company and took us through the combat. Well, we were in this little village, and this paratrooper was standing on this crossroads, and our officers were stopped. They were talking to him. And I don't know why they didn't get more information from him, because he was there all by himself. And of course, it was that night, the night of the D-Day, and I don't know what they said to him or not, but when we got back out of that ambush, he was gone. We couldn't find him. I don't know where he went. That's why I had the impression that he was a German, but...
So he may have given you misinformation?
Well, I think so, because he told us where to go. He led us right down into the ambush.
And were they Germans in houses?
No, they were outside of the village. That's what I couldn't figure out. And the German stopped us, he's telling us to halt because he heard us coming. And, they opened up with machine guns and whatever.
Were they on both sides of the road then?
Well, the only thing that I could remember was the machine gun was off to the, we were going down this road. It was off to the left side of the road. How many Germans were there, I have no idea. But it took us quite a while to get out of it. We just crawled on our belly till we could get out.
Yeah.
But
So you lost all your officers, principally, right?
whatever happened to them, I don't know. I have no idea. But the officers and the non-coms, I was the only sergeant left there. And I guess it was up to me to take care of the company.
So what did you do?
I crawled on my belly like everybody else, and I got everybody that was ahead of me. I keep pulling them back, to get back out of the area. And got the company back into this little village where we went out of. It was quite an experience. Gee.
That's day one.
Day one, right.
Wow. Then your next memory is what?
Well, we were making a river crossing, across the Murder Ray River. And, that was, I don't know how many more days later, about 20 days later, I guess. And I don't know what ever happened in between that time, but when we were making this river crossing, machine gun opened up on the other side of the river, and I don't know where the bullet came from, but it caught me in the back. Just about, I think, a quarter inch from my spine.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, it wasn't too far away to the aid station. And I was in the aid station, and I must have dozed off, went to sleep in there. I woke up, and here's these two Germans sitting across from me, and I says, "Oh, geez, I've been captured."
Oh dear.
They were captured. And
Were they able to get the bullet out?
it went out by itself, came
Okay.
out. Yeah, it just came in and back out. I think they flew me back.
To Britain?
Yeah,
England, yeah.
England, and I was in the hospital for I don't know how long.
And that was the reason you got the Purple Heart?
Right. I think I got wounded on the 19th of June. So I was only in combat, 13 days.
Right.
After I got out of the hospital, they shipped me back to my outfit and got ready for Holland.
Mhm.
There, we landed at Nijmegen in Holland, and we shipped us to this little, we worked our way into this little town of Groesbeek, which was like a summer resort for Holland. And we were right across the border into Germany. We used to go into Germany every night on patrol. So I don't think the other guys were in Germany before we were. I flew into Holland. I was flew co-pilot in that glider. I say, if you help the pilot when he needs it. So the thing about it is, when we were going across the border, across into Holland and Belgium, I could see this German run out of this house. I wished I'd have had a hole where I could have shot at him, but I couldn't. Yeah, I used to sit on your helmet because all it was cardboard, or not cardboard, but plywood seats, and that was to help protect your rear end. A group of guys from our outfit went into, they were pathfinders, we call them. They jumped ahead of us going in and lined up our landing area. And we landed right next to
Thanks.
The dike?
Dike, yeah.
Oh. How many guys would be in a glider loaded down with equipment?
12,
12?
yeah, one squad,
Did you have safety straps on, seat belts and stuff like that, or no? You were just in there.
just in there. You know, you could see the bullet holes in it. There's nothing but canvas and aluminum
Now,
and plywood. Take over the road so that the tanks and everything that were coming for us could get through. And the only ones that didn't was the English outfit that landed in Arnhem. They didn't get their
Yeah.
bridge in time. The bridge in Nijmegen, we got that. And of course we were in that little town of Groesbeek, and we used to go on patrol into Germany every night. 101st Airborne landed closest to
Yeah.
where our troops were. Then we landed at Nijmegen, and the British landed at Arnhem. I can remember one time I was up on a hill, my company was on a hill, and you could see, I could see the Germans crossing a little ditch, and they were, you know, getting across. I had a perfect spot, and the guy told me, he says, "Come on, get out of here." He said, "We're leaving." Around December, I think, close to December, and we were started to move out, going over these terrible bushes and shrubs and everything we had to go through. And sometime or other in that, when we were going through there, they called a truce. Germans and the Americans, officers got together. They were telling us that we were surrounded. We were telling them they were surrounded.
Mm-hmm.
We knew we were, but and shortly after that, I got into a German artillery, and I thought I just went back to my CP and I said, "Give me a couple of aspirin." I said I had a terrific headache, but I think it was from the artillery landing there, because I lost a lot of buddies there.
Was it the German 88s?
Yeah. When we were in Groesbeek, they had a German 88 that was in a hill, and they must have had it dug into the hill, because they'd send us on patrol to try to find it at night. And evidently when they brought it out to fire, they would bring it out on some kind of track
Yeah.
and bring it out, and then we'd go back in.
Head back in again.
All you could do is get an estimate of where it was, but that was quite a time. We were coming back out of patrol one night. German machine guns were firing at us, and there was a dead horse laying there. I laid right next to that horse.
Mm.
Could feel the bullets coming, but I think that horse protected me.
You're in the front line. There's a lot of combat you've seen, been
Right.
part of. What was the sense of your fellow troop mates? Was there a fear factor, or were you just kind of trying to keep alive?
Well, we're just trying to keep alive, I guess. Most of the guys were, from the time we lost those troops in Normandy, I don't know. We sent us a lot of replacements, some of them like kids I didn't even know, I'm talking about me, I was a kid myself. We used to go in a foxhole, and I can remember taking my boots off at night, to kind of rest my feet. And you put them up on the top of the foxhole. I kept thinking I had just a headache, but I think I must have been kind of knocked out from those 88s. They shipped me back in the hospital, and from then on I went back into a replacement company.
So and again, the hospital was in England.
Right,
To get back
they
to-
flew me back. VE Day, I was home,
Okay.
Oh.
surprisingly.
Oh.
I had, when I got out of the hospital, they put me in this replacement depot to replace the troops coming in. And I was late coming back from a furlough one night, and my commander said, I'll fix you. He said, I'll put you in. He said, you're going to go to Europe or to Japan. So I laughed at him because I said, well, I knew when if I got back here, I had enough points to get out. So that's when they shipped me back here. I was down in.
So he actually did you a favor. He thought he was punishing you, and he actually
Yeah,
did you a favor.
he thought they were going to ship me to Japan.
Yeah.
And that's where I got discharged right after, because I was home on VE Day.
You came home to Salamanca and you saw your dad for the first time in a couple of years. What did he say?
He just said, welcome home. I know that when I first got wounded, they sent him a telegram telling him that I had been wounded, seriously wounded, and of course he was very quiet. He never said much. But that was my extent.
Wow, what a story.
These are my 2 Bronze Star medals that I got. Purple Heart, we talked about that. These are the European Theater and African Theater medals. Yeah, this is my company.
Yeah, that's more important. Okay.
I get my head over here where I am.
Yeah. Now, where are you in this picture?
Oh, right there.
Oh, there you go. Tall, handsome guy, yeah.
One of them, when we were in combat in Normandy, that one brother got shot, and we were going through this village, going through room by room, and we found this German soldier, but there was a kid it's all I could say was a kid. I don't know what the hell he was doing in the service. He was shot through the stomach.
Mm.
And this guy must have stayed with him because they knew that they were going to get captured. And we found him in this room, and this kid that lost his brother pulled up his rifle, was going to shoot him. And I told him, no, you can't shoot him now. And so we sent him back to our staging area. And the kid was so young, I felt sorry for him, really.
Well, a stomach wound is not.
Yeah, and I took his jacket and threw it over his shoulders when I took him out. And that guy turned his gun on me, and I thought he was going to shoot me. He was so, well, I can understand his viewpoint, because it was only a couple of days before that his brother was killed. I never could get to talk to my kids about it. Of course, they were all in the service too. You got more out of me than a lot of people have. I just can't talk about it. I don't know.
Well, you have great recollection. It's great recollection.
You did very well.
Thank
Very
you.
well, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
You're quite welcome.
We salute you.